Alright y'all, what we're going to do today is this little HP here. I'm getting it ready to give away. And if you are local to Venice, 941-451-4318 is my phone number. As long as you don't show up as a telemarketer on my caller ID, I generally answer. Don't bother with text or whatever. And my number is on the page too, but 941-451-4318. This one can go to anyone. My better machines I usually give to veterans. What we have here is a little baby HP. It is got all the model numbers and stuff on the bottom here. So she is an HP Pavilion 570 p023w desktop PC US version. And I've already gone into it. Didn't have any dryer to blow it out. I gotta get Sin or Cindy, one of the two, to go get me some. I don't drive myself anymore. And by the way, y'all out-of-staters, don't bother calling me if you ain't local to Venice, able to come pick it up. Yeah, you're wasting your time, because my crippled ass can barely walk. I ain't going to no damn UPS or no shit like that to ship this thing, especially not since I'm giving it away for free. It's got a little Core i5 under there. Like I said, I still got to get some dryer to blow it out. It actually came with this card. I got this at a thrift store, and it had two drives in it. It's got an NVMe, and it's got a 1 terabyte for storage. So we're gonna go through it. That's the 4 gigger I pulled out, and I popped in a pair of little 8 giggers. Watch this shit. This shit lights up. And gamer crap, but you know, hey, what the heck. It works in the machine, that's all I care. It lights up and starts changing colors. That's kind of cool. Alright, so we're going to pop that cover back on there. I'm going to take you through a full what I do to these machines before I give them away, because I like to make sure that people's data is off of machines. Somebody had reinstalled Windows on it, but the data drive, the storage drive, still had kind of stuck in it. But I didn't want to check out. I knew that there was stuff on there because I saw folders, and I did a right click in properties, and it said that there was size there. So let's start this from the beginning. First thing I want to do on a machine that has data on it, even if it doesn't, just to prevent somebody from getting someone's data via recovery methods. Pop that little Lexar in there. Let me close this down. And the way this works, by the way, is I have to go through a whole bunch of machines, bunch of sound cards, everything I can lay my hands on in order to proceed with my audio, my 3D audio project, because it's all in the public domain. I'm not worried about that. It's mostly public domain pieces and parts anyway. But I have to test it with damn near everything, and I don't have room to store stuff after I've tested it. So the lesser machines I give away to veterans, and the better machines I give away to, or the better machines I give away to veterans, I'm sorry. And the lesser machines I give away to anyone. This one is a 7th gen Intel i5. It goes away to anyone that fucking wants it. I actually picked this one up at a thrift store. So, and my parts guy has been really good. I've just now scored a bunch of 10s. So I've got motherboards, I've got a whole bunch of machines I'm about to give away. I've got a whole bunch of these mining rigs. I've got AMD A8s and A12s for lifelong civilians, and if you served in any branch of the military, I've got a secret stash of Intel 13th gen Celerons. And even though those are mining computers, they don't have to be used for that. They can be used for video walls. You can slap them to the back of a TV. They are a full-blown regular computer. I'm short on Wi-Fi cards to give away with them, but they've all got built-in Ethernet. And I do have a couple of screens laying around, some old TVs that I'm going to tape a couple of them to the back of and just send them out as an all-in-one. There you go. That's the best I can do. But all that aside, let's go here to Boolean. Okay, I want to flash from file, and I need Parted Magic 2020. Paid for one of these. One of them's the free one. I don't know which one's which. I don't give a shit. They're both really free, but you donate, kind of thing. Are you used to? I don't know. I don't even know if they've got a new version. I just like this one. It works. Yes, go on ahead and write that sucker. Alright, come on, come on, come on. 27, 14, 13, make up your 20, 12, 11, 28. I love watching these numbers flash by. I make jokes about there's real time and there's Apple time, and you know there's Windows time too, but I try to avoid Windows as much as possible. I only have it on my machines right now because I've got a couple of cards that are Windows only, and I'm going to port the drivers over just to play with on Linux. Alright, so now I've got my Parted Magic. Pop that puppy out. Aim this sucker up there at that top screen. That's the one you want to watch now. And I'm going to pop this little drive in. And hit boom. 1 F9 for my boot menu on this particular machine. You can do that escape key crap. I need to be in a back USB port with this poor thing. Some of these retail HPs don't like it when you try and boot from the front USB-C port with an adapter. This is one of those machines. Okay, just default settings. This is Parted Magic. You can download it. You can donate and get the good version, or you can not donate and the free version is like always the last one or whatever. I don't remember. It's been years since I bought it. Here we go. It shouldn't take too long. Little i5. It's got a 128 gig NVMe on the board and a terabyte of storage drive. I'm showing you this extra step because true to form from these thrift stores, they'll reinstall an operating system, but when it comes to storage drives, they're not so good about checking them, and that was the case with this one. There were some files still on the storage drive, and I know that because there were folders there. I don't get nosy, I just wipe this shit out. So I'm going to go to Partition Editor. Instead of bothering, deleting and creating partitions, alright, I'm on the NVMe, I'm going to go Device, I'm going to go Delete Partition Table. I'll plot. Okay, I'm going to pick SDA, which is the 1 terabyte, and I'm going to go Device, and I'm going to go Create, and I'm going to go Apply. Now, I've just saved hours of hassling with BleachBit or whatever other kind of crap people use, because unless they're a little bit past script kiddie level, the average hacker the average guy, even legit, isn't going to have too good of a time trying to recover either drive at this point. So I'm going to go and restart the computer, grab my Linux drive here. This is OPensuse 15.6, the latest, and we're going to install it. from flash drive only. We're not going to give it network, so it might actually try and boot to nothing here while I'm farting around in the little box. I had to create a little storage box because I take these flash drives back and forth to the White Elephant and Ladies and a couple other places. I had to create a little storage box for my personal slammers so I know which ones are my utility ones and which ones are for each place. So now I've got like 4 little boxes in my go bag. Alright, now in this particular machine, whatever it is to get into your boot menu on your machine, this one I know it's F9. Escape key would work too. I want to pick that SanDisk. Boom. I want installation. So now at this point, anything on the primary drive is going to get overwritten with a fresh operating system. And as far as handling the second drive, because there was data on there, it's not just a matter of I've recreated a whole fresh new partition table of a different operating system type. That storage drive is old spinner, so it's magnetic media. So what I'll do before I send it out to make double sure that no one can recover the data, I've got a SLAM drive, a portable with like 14 terabytes of random downloads from the internet. I'll go on ahead and copy those on there and then delete that whole directory and confuse anyone trying to recover the drive, because I do give these things away. I never know who I'm giving them to, and I don't take any chances with other people's data. I'm over-conscious about that. And I do that for anyone. I can't really say that I have customers, because if I'm doing stuff for someone anywhere electronically, I am not making money. I usually dump more money into their projects than they ever pay me. And that's just because my contract reads that I can't profit from the electronics industry until my contract expires. I'm still on advisory status for a while, it seems. Stopwatch, shit's a motherfucker. Alright, so, now, wrong mouse. I go up here, I hit next. I'm not going to bother with setting up the Wi-Fi or the Ether, either or. Desktop with KDE Plasma, because Gnome looks too much like a damn cell phone or some shit. It used to look like a Mac. And guided setup, I'm just going to let it pick the whole damn drive. You know what? I'm just going to let it pick both drives. That way I don't have to do anything post install. I'm not. It would be confusing for the end user later, so boom, we're good. We're good. I'm going to go next. Eastern New York, yeah. And we're just going to go admin. Password 6260. Pretty much the password for any machine that I give away. It's just for your system settings and crap. And they can change it later on. That's their own problem. Veterans, I'll generally provide support, a little bit of end user support for the machines if they need it. For the civilians, they're on their own. I owe the veterans, civilians not so much. Which is why the veterans get the better machines. So I need to click details here, or it won't let me have my menus. So I go multimedia, right click, all in this list, just give it to me. Same thing with Office software, install, graphics, install, games, boom, install. I'm going to take you through the post-installation steps too, because this one has an annoying Nvidia video card, which will default me back to Gnome anyway, even though I picked KDE. Alright, I'm going to click that install button, tell it, okay, do that. And it shouldn't take too long. I'm doing this completely offline. I didn't give it internet. So while that's doing that, I'm going to grab a different soda or something. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. We're still on the GoPro for a camera. Sorry about that. I'm about to mount a nice Belarus up here. It's actually a underwater camera, so that I can do a lot more of these videos. My parts guy's been nice enough to bring me some really nice classy pieces. Wow, I've still got like 5 gigs to go. Shouldn't take more than that for this to where I can do more of these videos. And to where you'll be able to see them a lot better. It doesn't have a mic in it, because it goes underwater. It doesn't need a mic. Well, it's going to go. And by the way, I've got tons of trading material for you local to Venice nerds. Got video cards out the yin yang. I'm looking for Xeon Phi cards, pretty much any AI accelerators. I'll trade around, whatever. Motherboards and stuff I'm not so big on trading around, but I've got some CPUs laying around, mostly i3s and Celerons that, you know, if you need one, hey, I'll probably just hand you one, but if you've got some you want to trade, great. I've got boards and machines that need them too. And on the giveaway to any damn buddy that wants them pile, I have AMD 8 A8 RebTechs. And for veterans, if you've served in any branch or are currently active duty, I've got some nice 13th gen Intel Celerons. And I give these things away because I need as many as I can lay my hands on for my 3D audio project. Because I have to test it 100 ways to Sunday and make sure it works with everybody's stuff, because again, even though I'm giving it away, people think that it should work with anything, and I kind of agree. I mean, that's the point of the whole thing. The whole project is so that anyone can enjoy 3D audio instead of conventional surround. Or, you know, if nothing else, you can let your neighbors, you know, ensure that your neighbors listen to the finest in heavy metal, whether they want to or not. No, I don't crank this thing very often. I really could, but It's not my thing. I've got full 3D audio. I've actually got transducers under the floor. And a lot of these pieces have history, like those big SP118Xs. The man who handed those to me used to open for Grand Funk Railroad. The SP3s are just something I wanted all my life, and I finally got lucky and found a set. And allegedly by the serial numbers, they were once owned by a company who may or may not have rented them to Johnny Cash. There's a pair of PVs there that are signed by a Mr. Robert Ritchie, but I'm not really sure about that. I know for an absolute fact that the pair of Ramsdells came from the drummer for Pretty Reckless, the first drummer for for a band called The Pretty Reckless, who used to live catty corner across the street from me. They actually came out of his house after he passed. The two PVs up there, the 112Ms, they came from this Jerry guy. He's kind of a tiki bar, not really a legend, but kind of the guy that, yeah, man, you know, I've seen him at the tiki bars. I've heard really good things about him. And he was here one time, and he is an incredible player. I know a couple others that are also incredible players. The DOS has history with Anaheim Stadium. The Ann Sheridans have history with Ann Sheridan. The big USO cabinets on the bottom with the pink fronts. Apparently they're, by the serial numbers, they're 2 of 6 that were made for her USO tours. The horns are just horn boxes that someone sold me along the way, I believe with those or with another set, I don't remember. And the SP2s, by the way, if anybody's got a pair of 10s, my rules are I'm looking for metal mesh front with any kind of a horn, whether it's under the metal mesh or showing like the Yamahas. I don't care. Those need to go away, and I want a pair of 10s there. I want to go 18, 12, and then 10 on top. So, oh, it has to be a wood cabinet too. I'm not trading those for some plastic cabinets. I put in new Conan coil basket. They are PV Black Widow Pro Rider, the heavy duty ones. They're not the Scorpions, and they're not the regular Black Widow 15s in there. They're the Black Widow 15-inch Pro Rider or whatever. The compression horns in these, when they first came in, I had the extra parts, so I went on ahead and replaced the diaphragms in them. So they've got Fatal Pro rebuild kits in them. Those are trade aroundable. Okay, I haven't babbled enough. It's still got a gig to go here, so we've got the Trumpinator up there. The little white gnome guy came from my daughter. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just babbling just to keep you entertained here while this is still installing. There's a couple of post-install steps because this one has an Nvidia video card. And I've run into this with Nvidia a couple of times where even though you pick KDE, it's going to default to Gnome. I'm going to show you how to get around that post-install and how to add the repositories too. Alright, I'm going to set this camera back down because I can't stand up very much longer. And like I said, folks, I have tons of computers at the moment to give away to quite a few people. 941-451-4318. If you're close enough to Menace, you feel like driving up and picking one up. I can't drive anywhere. Physically, that is hasn't been an option for a few years. If you like what I'm doing, or if you just want your machine, wiped out, pop on by. I'm always bored. But if you like what I'm doing and you've got an old machine, the rules are if it comes through here, I'm going to play with it. If it's got something interesting for my audio project that I haven't played with before, I'm probably going to play with it a little while before I give it away, but I will give it away. And like I said, the better machines I give to veterans only, or active duty. And I don't count a wife as being a veteran. So, you know, don't even try that. You know, I will not address you by your husband's rank. That doesn't play with me. And for civilians, they get the lesser machines, which right now I define as 8th generation and newer. Anything that would normally hold Windows 11, if that's what they want to do after it leaves here, the veterans get them. Anything 7th generation and older Intel, anyone can have them. This one I went through, I put in a couple of sticks of 8 gig, took out the little 4 gig that came with it. Speaking of which, I need to... Actually, no, that came with an 8 gig. I'm just slip that in here and do that anyway. And I gotta get Center Cindy to get me some dryers so I can still clean this one out. And I ran out of dryer. And now I'm not about to set up a compressor in this shed again. Right now I'm trying to clean out a few computers so I can make space so I can have friends sitting here and listen to music and smoke weed while we sit here and solder and tinker on shit. It's gotten pretty bad cramped-wise, space-wise, but I'll go through that really quick. I usually, when I give away the video games, I have a nurse that works in a children's hospice that she can give away 4 or 5, 2 or 3 a month is my average, and they're always real PlayStations. But right now I've got like a whole bunch of Nintendo 64s that we're starting to donate out just to chaplains and stuff that are willing to distribute them through. It's already installed. It's going to come up into Gnome instead of Plasma. Like I said, I'm fixing it instead of KDE. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay, wrong mouse. Kill that crap. Close. Here's this stupid boom. Log out. Log out. Go down here and I'm going to pick Gnome. Alright, I'm going to pick Plasma Wayland if I can find it. Yeah, there's Plasma Wayland. I know that this Nvidia card supports it in the default driver shed. Something with this 15.6 release of Susie that's doing this crap. It's causing this. This 15.5 didn't do that to me, even on Nvidia cards. Be a little bit slow this boot. I should have gone with X11. I forgot Wayland support doesn't generally come in until after you put in the Nvidia drivers. Yeah, screw this. I'm not going to wait on Wayland with no drivers. We're going to go in and we're going to do it in X11. I'm sorry, my bad. Still going to pop up in gnome, even though I just had the session in X11. It's still going to pop up in gnome until I force it to change. Now I got mouse control. So I'm going to hit close, close. Hit boom. I want to log back out again. Log out. Log out. Down here, and I'm going to pick the regular X11 this time. Put in the password. Just a system settings password. They can change it later. I always put on 6260. So, let's see, oh yeah, alright, system settings. You don't go to Yast and users like you used to, you go to system settings these days. I want workspace behavior, I think. No, I want it to start up and show. Yeah, behavior. And log in with Plasma Wayland. Now it will, okay? But before I reboot now, because I know that Wayland's going to have problems, and I may or may not have intentionally done that to illustrate that Wayland would have problems with Nvidia without putting in the drivers. I'm going to go on ahead and put this puppy on the internet. We can't put it on that. We can put it on this one. Oh, wrong password. Okay, so it's activated. And that is named after Handy Andy. Andy used to live behind me, and that particular segment of the network was put up just for him. So I'm going to go to Yast. And this only seems to do this with Nvidia cards. With AMD or Intel video, I don't have that problem. Not even with the newest of AMD video cards or the oldest. Only seems to affect Nvidia. So I go to software repositories. And that's the reason I went onto the internet just now. Or allowed it on the internet. I go to add. Go to community repositories. See, because I just did my install from the stick. I like to do as little as possible on the internet. I had my usual Pac-Man and libDVD CSS, and since it does have an Nvidia video card that's current enough, I add it. Okay, so boom. Trust all three keys. And with older Nvidia video cards, I don't recommend adding the Nvidia repository because half the time it wants to default you to the kernel modules or driver, whichever you prefer to call it, that are like for the next card newer than what you actually have. That's never been a perfect thing. So now, I just go to software management. I want to put in the Pac-Man RPM key. Oh, yeah, before I do that, I want to go to options, turn off show deval, turn off show debug, allow vendor change, search for that RPM key, there it is, I click OK, I click accept, and boom, there's the Nvidia drivers, which are correct for this card. This is a Pascal era card, so it will take the latest and greatest drivers. I click continue, and in a few seconds, well, maybe a minute, I think this expands out to about a gig of stuff that it actually installs. It only downloads 344 megs apparently. And this is living proof that you can have the fastest connection in the world, and if the guy on the other end, if their connection ain't just as fast, you ain't gonna get it as fast as your shit is. I've got 12 gigs in both directions, up and down. Apparently the guy on the other end, people from OPensuse don't, that or their servers are swamped, because usually that download part's done by now. Seems the best I've ever gotten out of them is like not even a quarter gig a second. And a lot of that's the limitations of I'm giving away older machines that even though they'll have gig ether, the CPU, like if it's an old i3 or a Core 2 quad, you're lucky if you really see 200 out of any of them. And that applies to some of the Xeons too. Even though this machine's got a fast enough drive, it could take it as fast as you can suck it in. It's fairly new NVMe, even though it's small. Storage drive in this thing's a spinner, of course. Drops in big chunks now. Okay, so that's done. Finish. And if I reboot now, it should come right back up into KDE. Just gonna hit restart. Boom, there I am. Cancel on that. And just for grins and giggles, we're going to tell it to forget that network. Where did that network go? There it is at the top. Cancel. We're good. Alright, so came up into KDE like it was supposed to. That gets you around that login problem. And it doesn't look like a damn cell phone. Gnome used to at least look like a Mac. And it kind of does still, but it's starting to look more and more like a cell phone. And it's more sucky than ever. I've always liked KDE, so we're going to let it shut down. And we're done with this video. We will holler at y'all later. And remember, if you want a free computer, you're local to Venice, 941-451-4318. I got good ones for vets, and I got a whole bunch of lesser ones for pretty much anyone that wants them. If you're a nerd that needs parts and wants to trade around, or you've got an interesting project, if you've got an interesting project, hell, I'll probably kick in parts just to help you out. Anyway, we'll holler at y'all later.